everyone, I'm Jonas with the Success Home Team, and I'm the lead listing specialist on the Success Home Team, which means I'm in between 250 and 300 homes a year, going through and meeting with people who are thinking about selling. And some of them aren't necessarily looking to sell now. They might be looking for 6 months or a year from now, and they're wondering some things that they can do to help improve value without spending a lot of money. And so I wanted to dig into that a little bit today. And one of my favorite topics, which is kind of silly, but it's really matters when you go to sell a house. And it also matters just the way you enjoy your house, and it's the light bulbs. And so first off, switching out light bulbs to LED lights makes a lot of sense. You're going to have some obvious money saving in electricity, so I think everyone's kind of aware of that we should be switching to LED light bulbs, and there's always great deals on them. But what I'm seeing now is people are home, and I've been talking to more and more people as they're home. They're telling me, hey, this area is really dark. I'm trying to brighten it up. Or for example, I'll go over to someone's house and we'll go down their basement, and my eyes will be just taken back by the light they're using down there, but they'll tell me, well, I was trying to make it brighter. And the biggest confusion for people is that they get the wrong light bulb. What they'll do is they'll go buy daylight light bulbs thinking that they're going to be brighter. But daylight light bulbs aren't actually brighter. Daylight is a color, and that's a Kelvin. So I'm going to show you some differences in light bulbs and try to help you guys get a better scale in your house and how you can actually get a warmer, nicer feeling house, which is going to present better if you're going to sell. Plus, it's going to make it more enjoyable for you. So I'll switch over and show you those. Okay, so here we go. So here's the light bulb box that gets everyone, and no one likes daylight light bulbs. I've never met anyone that does. They think they do because they think they're brighter, but they're actually not. And so what we're looking at here is it says daylight, so naturally you grab this and you think, hey, this is going to make my house brighter. But what you're seeing is it's 500K. That's the color, that's Kelvin. The brightness is actually down here. It's lumens. It's 800 lumens. So it's just like a 60 watt replacement. And that bulb actually is going to put out really weird light. I was just in a house recently. It was actually a neighbor's house. Sorry, neighbor, if you see this. And in the basement, they have a nice brand new ping pong table, but we couldn't even see the bulb. And it was because of the light bulb they were using. And I just looked up and I could tell they were running basically this bulb, a daylight light bulb, because it's the basement. They want it to be brighter. But they're actually only running at 800 lumen. Wrong light bulb to be using for the basement. So what we want to look at, though, is you want to look for like a soft white, 2700K. It's going to be a lot cleaner looking light, and it's going to feel more natural. Which is funny because everyone thinks that, hey, it says daylight, it must be natural. But what you'll see here, if we jump over to like a lumen scale, or excuse me, a Kelvin scale, lumens is brightness, Kelvin is color, is you actually, it's a blue scale. So as you go up that 5,000, it's starting to get cool and it's starting to turn blue. That's why you'll notice if you've got a daylight light bulb, like for say in the kitchen, you'll notice more shadows and weird shadows. It's because it's throwing out more of a blue light than it is a more of a warm natural light. And so what you really should be looking for is over on these scales, that 3,000 to 4,000. I actually really like these 2,700. It looks a little yellow in this, but it lights up pretty naturally when you're in your house. So these work great for bedrooms, for bathrooms, things like that. And then use like a 60 watt replacement. So 800 lumen versus like a 1600. So if you do start thinking about the basement though, and you're going, hey, I've been trying to work in my basement. It feels dark. It feels dingy. What bulb should I use? Okay, for the basement, you want to get into that bright white, a really nice color. As we're kind of talking about, that 3,000 Kelvin is kind of awesome. And Costco has a great light bulb for that. And it's right here. It's a 100 watt replacement. So if you look, it's 1600 lumens. So it's a really bright bulb, and it's a natural bright white. In fact, I use this one in a few different spots. I use it outside for like in my exterior lights to really throw some light in my driveway. I've gotten some lamps where I want a nice, really bright area. And then I use it in all my basement lights, and it really lights up the basement wall. It makes it feel very natural and bright down there. So this is a great light bulb to be using in kind of darker areas. And then you're looking at more of a 100 watt replacement. It's twice as bright, 1600 lumens versus the 60. But the wattage is so low because it's LED, so it really saves the electricity on that. And so to kind of give you examples of how these actually look in person, you kind of chuckle at these, I think. This is in a house. They obviously replaced with LED bulbs. I can see that. But this was in a bathroom. And what they did is they had a more of a natural light. And that's probably like a 2700K. It could even be a little bit less. It looks a little bit more yellow. And then they put a daylight next to it. And it made that room just awful. It was really hard to see in there. As you can see how it's throwing out a blue light and then a yellow light. Don't do that. Terrible thing to do. So if you're doing that right now, go through and fix that. The next thing though, this is one of my neighbor's house, and again, one of my other neighbors I'm picking on here, but this I think shows one of the best examples of, you know, the different colors of light and how one can feel really warm and one can feel cold. And that cool light will really put off a buyer. It also isn't as enjoyable for you to just be in it. There is a subconscious factor, there is a psychology of color. And look at this, it really puts out that blue light. It's really kind of unclean. But look under here. These are clearly more like a 3000 Kelvin. It's going to feel a lot warmer. It actually creates kind of a brighter feel. You get just a different view in it. And so that's our fun on light bulbs today, is I really want you guys to understand the light bulb matters, and it can really pay off having your feeling of your house much better. When you go to sell, you can really brighten it up, and people will like it more naturally. Plus, I think you're going to be able to enjoy it more. You've been stuck in your house now for a few weeks. Sounds like we've got another 3 or 4 to go. So look at your light bulbs. It could be a great time to change it out, and it's a simple, cost-effective way to save some money and add some value to your house. All right, guys, look forward to talking to you next week. Take care.